On our agenda today, we're going to discuss how to document with a 2067 communication when there is a delay in pre-initiation activity, when there's a delay in service initiation, and when there is a service initiation. The Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 47, talks about pre-initiation activities due date, and it tells you what you must do. Okay, it tells you what you must do right here, must. Okay, there is a window for pre-initiation activities that will close. The timeline for that window that they give you is 14 days to complete all of your pre-initiation activities. Okay, if you do not complete your pre-initiation activities within that 14 days, it tells you that that is a delay. Okay, for whatever reason, it is a delay if you don't complete all of your pre-initiation activities in 14 days. And then down here it tells you delays in pre-initiation activities. It tells you how you must, right here, must. A provider must document any failure to complete the pre-initiation activities for a routine referral by the due date. You cannot wait until after the 14 days is out or over to document. It says by the due date. Okay. So if you start your pre-initiation activities on the 1st of the month, you have 14 days to complete those activities. If you do not complete those activities in 14 days, you must document, send that documentation to the caseworker by the due date, not after the due date is over. It's before the due date ends, before that window closes, before the 14th day, you need to document why you're having those delays. And then down here, it tells you what you must include in your documentation to make a valid delay in pre-initiation activities. It tells you the provider must document any failures to complete. The reason for the delay, either the date the provider anticipated will complete the pre-initiation activities or specific reasons why the provider cannot anticipate the completion date. And a description of the provider's ongoing efforts to complete those pre-initiation activities. Okay, so that is what they expect on your documentation communication that you're sending to the caseworker. How to document a valid delay in pre-initiation activities. A, B, and C tells you what you need to include in that documentation. What the Texas Administrative Code says, you must document for those pre-initiation activities. These 3 reasons need to be notated in that documentation. Can't express that enough. Texas Administrative Code 47 also talks about service initiation. A provider must initiate services, okay? You must initiate services based on the timeline that they're giving you here. And if you cannot if you cannot meet that service initiation when they're explaining to you here, it tells you delay in service initiation. A provider may delay service initiation only for reasons not directly caused by the provider. Okay, it tells you here the provider must document any failures to initiate services by the applicable due date. Okay, that is listed in subsection A, which is up here. Okay, so if you cannot meet these requirements in subsection A, you have to write a delay in service initiation communication. Okay, and it tells you here what validates and how to properly document your delay. Those delays that you need to document tells you that communication needs to have the reason why there's a delay, either the date the provider anticipate it will initiate services, and a description of your ongoing efforts. Okay, So please make sure you're documenting in that 2067 communication. Make sure you have covered all these valid points. When you start services on a client, okay, Texas Administrative Code tells you that you must notify the caseworker and let them know that you have started services on your client. Okay, this is where a lot of people get the infractions. If you look here, it says notification of service initiation within 14 days. So they're giving you your 14-day window. Okay, you need to notify the caseworker within 14 days. Here's the key right here: after. Okay, after initiating services, the provider must send notice of service initiation to the caseworker. A lot of agencies always send the notification before the 14 days. Okay, some of them send it the day that they get the referral. You must document and show that you have sent that notice to the caseworker after you have started services. So if you go in and you see that the provider has clocked in for services on, let's just say April the 15th was the first day of clock in, but your notification to the caseworker that you started services was dated before that, then you're not going to get credit for that documentation. It has to be after you have started services. Okay. Main keyword: after. You send your notification after you have started services. So you always look at the first clock in, okay, and then you make sure that communication is sent out after you have started services. So your notification of service initiation within 14 days after initiating services. So you're looking at to see when the first clock in, you're notifying that caseworker after you have started services, but you're also going to do that notification within 14 days of starting services. The provider must, keyword here, must send notice of service initiation to the caseworker. Okay, so you got two stipulations here. You got to send it after you started services, but you got to send it within 14 days of starting services.